morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Saturday, the 13th of February. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks, relatively bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 47,398 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 48,944. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from 48,500 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's new swing high, 48,945, to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin test the second major resistance level at 54.91 before any pullback. A fallback through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 45,851 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 45. Second major support level sits at 44,305. Looking at the MACD, we had a bearish cross this morning and a widening of the bearish histogram, supporting this current pullback. On the EMA, the 50 has narrowed on the 100 and the 200 also giving a bearish signal. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid a fallback through the pivot at 47,398 to then target that first major resistance level in yesterday's swing high. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's a bearish morning so far. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1818 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 1896. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from this morning's new swing high, 1877.88. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 1900 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum test resistance at 2000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1946. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 1768 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should continue to steer clear of sub 1700. Second major support level sits at 1691. Looking at the MACD, we've had a bearish cross this morning and a widening of the bearish histogram supporting this pullback. On the EMAs, the 50 has closed in marginally on the 100 and the 200, also giving a bearish signal. So key would be for Ethereum to avoid the pivot at 1818 and break out from this morning's new swing high, 1877.88, to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, it's been a bullish start. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 191.36 to take another run through that first major resistance level at 205.83. Barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and this morning's new swing high 209.5 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Litecoin test resistance at 220 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 214.46. A slide through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 182.73 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 180. Second major support level sits at 168.26. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bullish histograms through the late morning supporting this pullback. On the EMA, however, the 50 has pulled away from the 100 and the 200, suggestive of further upside ahead. So avoiding the pivot at 191.36 and a break back through to 205 levels should bring 220 levels into view. Moving across to Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, it's been a choppy start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.5832 to take another run at the first major resistance level at 6471. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from this morning's high, 0.6432. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP test the second major resistance level at 0.6839 before any pullback. A fall through the pivot would bring the 62% fib at 0.5522 and the first major support level at 0.5464 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, however, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.6 levels. The second major support level sits at 0.4825. Looking at the MACD, we've had a bearish cross late morning, supporting this pullback. On the EMAs, the 50 has flattened on the 100 and the 200, also giving a bearish signal. Key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot at 0.5832 and break back through to 0.64 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.